My wife changed the locks, moved her lover into our home. She had no clue I owned her entire career, until I triggered the clause she signed 6 years ago. I, a 36-year-old male named Ethan Brooks, was married to Claire Evans, a 33-year-old female, for 9 years. We met back in college in 2012, when we were both broke as hell. She was this quiet finance major, cute, with a cunning glint in her eyes that promised ambition and secrets. I was an economics major with some decent family connections and enough money to not eat ramen every night. We got married right after graduation in 2014. Nothing fancy, just a courthouse ceremony and dinner after. My parents paid because her family was basically broke. I should have seen that as red flag number 1. I guess she was always obsessed with money and status even back then. Anyway, fast forward to 3 months ago, in January 2025. I've been killing it at my company. Got the corner office, company card, nice bonus structure, and a reputation as the guy who closes impossible deals. Claire was doing pretty well too, working for this finance firm in Midtown. Funny how she kept getting promotions every 9 to 12 months when everyone else took years to move up, almost like someone was pulling strings behind the scenes. "You're my lucky charm," she'd purr, but I knew I was her architect. Our marriage was okay, I guess. Not great, not terrible. We did the whole dinner with friends thing, posted the vacation pics, curated a flawless online facade, but something always felt off, like she was just going through the motions, like she was waiting for something better to come along. One night she whispered, "We're unstoppable, Ethan." But her eyes were scanning the room, searching for her next conquest. Then I landed this huge project in Seattle, 2 weeks away from home, potential for major dollars if I pulled it off. Before I left, Claire was playing the supportive wife role hard, making my favorite dinner, buying me new luggage, and staging a tearful goodbye at the airport, whispering, "Come back a legend, babe. You're going to crush it, babe. I believe in you," she kept saying. The first week away, everything was normal. We video chatted every night. She asked about the meetings, told me about her day, sent me pictures of dinners she made, which I now suspect were props for her double life. But then week 2 hit and things got weird. Her texts got super short. I'd send paragraphs about how the project was going and get back nice or sounds good. Our calls went from 45 to 60 minutes to like 10 minutes tops. Always with her saying she was so tired from work or had early meetings tomorrow. Then during one video call, I noticed something in our living room looked different. We had this teal throw pillow that Claire absolutely loved. She'd once snapped, "That pillow stays, Ethan, it's non-negotiable." But suddenly it was gone, replaced by this fancy silver and navy pillow I'd never seen before. "Hey, what happened to the teal pillow?" I asked. "Oh, that old thing just needed a change," she shrugged. "New vibe, new me," she added with a smirk that didn't reach her eyes. Then I heard it, a dude laughing in the background. "Who's that?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Just the TV," she said, "but I installed our whole entertainment system myself. Our TV sound comes through a Bose soundbar with very specific audio quality that was 100% a real person laughing." She ended the call a few minutes later, claiming a headache. The next couple of days things got even weirder. She stopped answering my goodnight texts. Her location sharing, which we both always had on for safety, was suddenly turned off. Her Instagram stories showed our living room from angles she never used, and I swear I could see a men's bracelet on our coffee table in one of them. I didn't say anything, though. I just watched and waited. Since I felt something was off, I tried to finish everything early and flew back home. My flight landed at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, April 15, 2025. I texted her, "Just landed," like I always do. No response, which was weird since she always replied to that message. It was our unspoken pact, a thread holding us together. The Uber ride home felt like it took forever. I was checking my phone every 20 seconds, heart pounding, knowing something was about to explode. Nothing. I got to our house, rolled my suitcase up the driveway, put my key in the lock, and it didn't work. I tried again, my hands shaking with a mix of rage and dread. The lock was completely different. I was so freaking confused, like who the hell changed the locks? That's when my phone buzzed with a message from Claire. "I found someone better. Don't bother trying to come in. I've moved on." I looked up at our security camera, the one I installed myself last spring. The little red light was on, which meant someone was watching the live feed. She was inside our house watching me stand there like an idiot with my suitcase, mocking me with her new lover by her side. 9 years of marriage, gone like that. But here's the crazy part. I didn't feel shocked or even that upset. I felt weirdly calm, like a part of me always knew this would happen eventually. So, instead of pounding on the door or making a scene, I just took a deep breath, stared directly into the security camera and typed, "Are you sure about that?" "You'll regret this, Claire," I muttered under my breath, my voice steel. She started typing, but I turned around, grabbed my suitcase handle, and walked away. No drama, no begging, no emotional breakdown. Just me wheeling my suitcase back down our driveway with the cold resolve of a man ready to burn it all down. As I walked, I could see the little typing dots appearing and disappearing on my phone. She was trying to respond, but couldn't figure out what to say, panicking because she knew I wasn't the man she could toy with anymore. Not going to happen, Claire. What my darling wife didn't realize was that I'd been quietly preparing for this possibility for years. All those doors that magically opened for her career, the investments she thought she controlled, the lifestyle she'd gotten so comfortable with, I built it all, and I could tear it all down just as easily. So, after walking away from my own house with a fire in my chest, vowing she'd pay dearly, I checked into this Hilton about 12 minutes away. Nothing fancy, but I needed somewhere to crash and figure out my next move. The first thing I did was call my boy Lucas Reed. We'd been tight since sophomore year of college. He's the guy who'd take a bullet for me and spill the tea without hesitation. "Dude, where the hell are you?" he asked when he picked up. "Your location shows you at some hotel." I gave him the short version of what just happened. He went quiet for a minute, then said, "Give me an hour, I'll call you back." While waiting for Lucas to work his magic, I decided to do some investigating of my own. Claire's never been the tech-savvy one in our relationship. She once called me in a panic because she couldn't find her email drafts. Turns out she'd archived them by accident, so I tried logging into our shared cloud storage account and boom, she was still using the same password I set up 4 years ago. Child's play. I started scrolling through recently added photos. And there they were, dozens of pictures of Claire with some dude I'd never seen before in our house, on our couch. My couch that I paid for with my bonus last year. Some of these pictures were from weeks ago, including nights when I was on business trips or working late. There were even a couple from when I was literally on video calls with her. I could see the laptop open in the background while she was cuddled up with this guy. So, all those calls where she was so tired and needed to go to bed early, yeah, she was banging this douchebag in our bed 2 minutes after hanging up with me. My phone buzzed. It was Claire. "You're taking this better than I expected. No fighting for us?" Guess I was right about finding someone better. "You'll eat those words," I whispered, my grip tightening on the phone. I didn't respond. Not yet, anyway. Lucas called back. "Okay, bro, got the scoop. Your wife's seeing some guy named Nathan Cole, works for a competitor but came in as a client about 4 months ago. They've been spotted all over town. That new wine bar on 8th, the steakhouse in Uptown, and that French bistro where you proposed to her 9 years ago. Talk about a slap in the face." "Classy," I muttered. "Gets better," Lucas continued. "This Nathan dude has a reputation. My buddy Owen works in the same industry. Says this guy has a pattern. He targets married women who are moving up in their careers, uses them for industry connections and insider info, then ghosts once he gets what he wants. Done it at least 4 times before." "So he's using her," I said, a dark smile creeping across my face. "100%, but she doesn't know that yet. Owen says he plays the perfect boyfriend. Expensive gifts, fancy restaurants, the whole deal. Meanwhile, he's gathering intel to take back to his actual employer." This gave me an idea. I thanked Lucas and hung up, then scrolled through my contacts until I found the name I was looking for, Sarah Mitchell. Sarah works with Claire at the same firm. She's this smoking hot brunette with legs for days and an MBA from Stanford. Claire's always been insanely jealous of her, constantly complaining about how Sarah dresses inappropriately and flirts with everyone's husbands at company events. What Claire doesn't know is that Sarah's been low-key flirting with me for years, nothing I ever acted on. I was faithful to Claire for our entire marriage because I believed in us even when she didn't. But Sarah and I always had this chemistry. She'd find reasons to talk to me at company parties, laugh at all my jokes, touch my arm when we talked. Claire noticed and hated it. I hit call. "Ethan, is everything okay?" Sarah answered, sounding surprised. "Hey, Sarah," I said, trying to sound casual. "Remember that drink you've been suggesting for the past year? I'm very available tonight." There was a pause. Then Sarah laughed. "Well, this is unexpected. Claire, finally loosen your leash." "Claire's out of the picture," I said, permanently. "Oh, Ethan, you're playing a dangerous game," she teased, her voice dripping with intrigue. Another pause. "That bar on 10th, 7:00. Perfect." I hung up with a spark in my veins, ready to rewrite my story. Then I opened the Photos app on my phone again and looked through pictures from Claire and me. 9 years together, and she threw it all away for some smooth-talking corporate spy. Part of me was angry, but another part was almost relieved, like a prisoner tasting freedom after years in chains. I took a shower, put on my best jeans and buttoned down and headed to meet Sarah. The whole Uber ride there, my phone was blowing up with texts from Claire. "What did you mean by that text? Ethan, please respond. We should talk about this like adults. Are you seriously ignoring me right now?" "You're unraveling, aren't you?" I smirked, silencing her notifications. Time to start the next phase. Sarah was already at the bar when I arrived, looking incredible in this little black dress. She stood up to hug me, and I caught at least 3 dudes giving me envious looks. We grabbed a table and ordered drinks. And for the first time in months, I was actually enjoying a conversation with a woman. Sarah's smart, funny, and sees me for who I am, not just a stepping stone. "So, what happened with Claire?" she eventually asked after our second round. I gave her the short version. Her eyes got wider and wider. "Holy shit," she said when I finished. "What are you going to do?" I shrugged, trying to look casual. "Move on, starting tonight." Sarah gave me this look that was part sympathy, part something else. Well, for what it's worth, I always thought she didn't appreciate what she had. "She's about to learn what she lost," I said, clinking my glass against hers. We took a selfie with our wine glasses, Sarah's idea. She posted it to her Instagram with a caption, "Finally got that drink," and tagged the location. Claire's going to lose her mind when she sees this, I thought, savoring the chaos to come. By the time we finished dinner, which somehow turned into dessert and another round of drinks, Claire had called me 15 times. I'd ignored every single one. When Sarah and I left the restaurant, I suggested walking her home since it was only a few blocks. Outside her apartment, she hesitated. "Want to come up?" "No pressure, just—" It's still early. Part of me thought it was too soon. The other part, the part that saw those pictures of Claire and Nathan on my couch, thought life's too short. "Love to," I said. "Let's see how much trouble we can stir up," she winked, pulling me inside. By morning, Claire had blown up my phone with over 25 messages, ranging from angry to confused to desperate. I ignored them all and posted a new picture to my own Instagram, just the view from Sarah's balcony, with 2 coffee cups visible on the table, captioned, "Great start to a new chapter." "This'll hit her where it hurts," I murmured, imagining her rage. After Sarah left for work with plans to meet up again that night, I opened my laptop and started sending emails to some old colleagues, people who might be interested to know about a certain corporate spy named Nathan, who's been gathering insider information through his relationship with an executive at their competitor. By midnight, I'd set up meetings with 3 different people who could help me systematically dismantle everything Claire thought she'd built on her own. She wanted to play dirty. I was the master of this chessboard. But here's something Claire never figured out. I didn't just help with her career. I basically built the whole damn thing from scratch. 6 years ago, Claire was stuck as an assistant account manager, making decent money, but constantly getting passed over for promotions. She'd come home crying like every other week about how Emily got promoted instead of me, or they hired some new guy from outside instead of promoting me. She'd sob, "Why am I never enough?" And I'd hold her, plotting her rise. I remember one night after another crying session about being overlooked, I decided to make some calls. My family's not like mega rich or anything, but we've got connections. My Uncle James was on the board of directors at this mid-size investment firm that was looking to expand their client base. I arranged a chance meeting between Claire and the hiring manager at some gala my mom organized. 2 weeks later, Claire got an offer for senior account manager, basically skipping 2 levels from where she was before. She was over the moon. "I nailed that interview, Ethan," she bragged, oblivious to my strings. But here's the thing. I didn't just make an introduction. I actually invested a pretty significant chunk of money, $300,000, 0 cents from my trust fund, in the firm under a shell company called Harper Holding. Harper is my mom's maiden name. A hidden dagger she never saw, but Claire never bothered to look into it. She was so excited about her fancy new business cards and corner office that she literally just signed wherever the HR lady pointed, including an agreement giving significant control to the silent investor who'd provided capital for her division's expansion. Guess who that investor was? Yep. Anyway, I'm in my hotel room the morning after staying at Sarah's place. Her fire's addictive, and I'm already craving round 2. And I'm putting together my game plan. First move, figure out exactly what Claire's been up to with company finances. Remember how I said I helped set up her accounts? Well, I also made sure I remained listed as an advisory consultant on most of them, basically giving me backdoor access to see what she was spending. Not that I ever used it. I trusted her until now. I logged in, and holy, the spending in the last month was insane. A $1,200 0 cent designer couch, a $9,000 0 cents watch, a weekend trip to Aspen for client relations that cost over $6,000, 0 cents, all on the company card, all poorly disguised as business expenses. Then I got a call from Sophie, Claire's sister. We've always gotten along pretty well. She's the normal one in Claire's family. "Ethan, you busy? We need to talk." "What's up?" I asked, still scrolling through Claire's expense reports. "I can't keep quiet anymore. Nathan, the guy Claire's seeing, he's bad news, like really bad. He's done this before, multiple times." "Done what exactly?" "Sophie says he targets women in positions like Claire, romances them, gets them to share confidential info, then disappears once he has what he needs. 4 women at Claire's company lost their jobs because of him last year. I'm not even surprised." "How do you know all this?" "Because Claire's been asking me to hold documents for her, said it was just in case things went south at work. I looked at them last night, Ethan, it's bad. She's been moving serious money around, big purchases hidden as business expenses, and there are emails between her and Nathan discussing confidential client information." "She's digging her own grave," Sophie whispered, her voice trembling. "Now we're getting somewhere. Can you send me copies?" "Already did." "Check your email." Sure enough, there they were, dozens of documents showing Claire had been embezzling company funds and leaking confidential information to Nathan. Information about upcoming mergers, client portfolios, investment strategies that could literally tank the company if it got into the wrong hands. And the best part? All on her work email. The one I helped set up, the one with a recovery phone number that goes to my phone because Claire was too busy to deal with IT security when she started. It was time to make some moves. First, I called my lawyer, Mark. He's the guy who'd outsmart the devil in court. I gave him the rundown and emailed over the most important documents. Jesus Christ, Ethan, this is serious stuff. Embezzlement, corporate espionage, she could face actual jail time for this. "I'm not looking to put her in jail," I explained. "I just want to make sure she doesn't walk away with everything we've built. Everything I've built." Mark was quiet for a minute. "Okay, here's what we do next." I texted Claire. "Just had an interesting chat about those expense reports, particularly the ones from last month. The couch looks great in our living room, by the way. French, right? The company might want to know where the money came from, though." Her response was immediate. "What are you talking about?" Oh, and Nathan's history with the company makes for fascinating reading. 4 settlements in 3 years. Impressive resume. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times. Then, Ethan, we need to talk after my meeting with the ethics committee tomorrow. You're scared now, aren't you? I typed, then deleted, letting her stew. Her panic was palpable. What meeting, Ethan, please? I didn't respond. Instead, I posted another picture with Sarah, this time from breakfast at this fancy place in downtown. Sarah looked amazing in the morning light, all tousled hair and bright eyes. Let's give her something to scream about, Sarah laughed, snapping the photo. Sophie called again. She's freaking out, called me screaming about some ethics meeting and asking if I took her documents. I played dumb, but Ethan, I'm worried about what she might do. Just stay clear of her today, I advised. Things are about to get complicated. I spent the rest of the day making calls and setting up for tomorrow. Got meetings with the head honcho at Claire's company, their security guy, and the money lady who's been giving Claire side-eye about her spending for months but couldn't nail her down. Time to drop the hammer. By evening, everything was in place. I met Sarah for dinner at this little Thai place where nobody from Claire's work would go. She's wearing this tight green dress that made me forget about revenge for about 2 hours. So, what's the plan for tomorrow? Sarah asked over dessert. Full nuclear option? I shook my head. Controlled demolition. I don't want to destroy the company, just extract Claire from it with minimal damage to everyone else. She raised an eyebrow. That's surprisingly merciful of you. I shrugged. The company didn't do anything wrong, and there are people there who depend on their jobs. Including you, Sarah pointed out. Especially you, I agreed, and she gave me that look again. Your trouble, Ethan Brooks, she purred, her foot brushing mine under the table. My phone buzzed with a notification. It was our home security system. Motion detected in the home office. I opened the app to see Claire frantically going through filing cabinets, pulling out folders and throwing papers everywhere. She was looking for evidence for the paperwork that would show how deep my involvement with her career went. What she didn't know was that all the important stuff was in a safe deposit box across town. The safe behind our honeymoon photo that she was currently trying to pry open contained nothing but a single note I left there months ago. You should have read the fine print. I showed Sarah the security feed and she nearly spit out her wine, laughing. Oh my God, she looks insane. Claire called 7 more times that night. I let them all go to voicemail. The last one she was actually crying. Ethan, please. Whatever you think you know, it's not what it looks like. Nathan isn't who you think he is. He's been helping me with my career. Please, just call me back before you do something we'll both regret. Too late, darling, I said to the empty room, deleting her plea. Too late for that, Claire. About 9 years too late. I fell asleep in Sarah's bed with a strange sense of peace. I knew that the next day Claire was going to learn exactly who she'd been married to all these years, and it wasn't the pushover she thought I was. The last thing I did before falling asleep was send one final text to Claire. Check your email at 7:00 in the morning tomorrow. Pay special attention to the attachment from February 10th. February 10th, the day she signed the partnership agreement 6 years ago, the one she clearly never read carefully enough. Game on. So, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, my blood humming with the thrill of victory. Today was the day Claire would realize exactly how screwed she was. I carefully slid out of bed, trying not to wake Sarah, and grabbed my laptop. First order of business, sending that email I promised Claire. I attached the partnership agreement from 6 years ago, the one where she was clearly listed as a managing partner whose position was contingent on approval from Harper Holdings, the one that gave the primary investor, also known as me, authority to review all financial decisions, the one with a very specific clause about ethical violations resulting in immediate asset review. I also attached screenshots of her expense reports for the last 3 months, with all the personal purchases highlighted in bright yellow, the $1,200 0 cents couch, the $9,000 0 cents watch she bought Nathan, the weekend trips, all neatly categorized and cross-referenced with social media posts, proving they were personal expenses, not business. I sent screenshots of her emails with Nathan discussing confidential client information as well. Information she had absolutely no right to share with anyone, let alone an employee of a competing firm. I hit send at exactly 7:00 in the morning, then opened the home security app to watch the show. Sure enough, Claire was in the kitchen with her phone, still wearing yesterday's clothes, looking like hell, her hands trembling as she clutched her coffee. Guess she had a rough night destroying our home office, looking for documents that weren't there. Her phone pinged. She picked it up, opened the email. Her scream echoed through the feed, a sound of pure despair. She dropped into a chair, scrolling frantically through the attachments, then started calling me again. I declined the call and texted, "No time to talk, meeting the CEO in 30 minutes. That got her moving. She ran upstairs, presumably to shower and change. Meanwhile, I was getting dressed myself, putting on my best suit, the one that made me feel like I could conquer empires. I grabbed an Uber to Claire's company headquarters, this fancy glass building in Uptown that practically screamed, "We manage rich people's money." The receptionist buzzed me into the main conference room where the CEO and executive team were waiting. When I walked in, the company bigwigs were already there, including a woman I'll call Linda, the money lady, who's always looked at Claire suspiciously. "Ethan," the CEO said, standing to shake my hand. "Thanks for bringing this to our attention." The door burst open and Claire rushed in, looking like she'd got dressed in a tornado, her eyes wild like a cornered animal. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" Her voice cracked when she saw me. I smiled pleasantly. "Just showing your bosses how you've been stealing company money and leaking secrets." Claire sputtered, then suddenly her eyes narrowed. "I saw you with Sarah last night. You posted it on Instagram. Is that what this is about?" I ignored her accusation and slid the folder toward the CEO. Bank statements, expense reports, and emails showing everything. "This is revenge because I cheated," Claire yelled, getting louder. "You're my co-worker and now you're trying to destroy me." The CEO cleared his throat. "Claire, your personal drama isn't our concern. The $1,200 0 couch and leaked documents, however, are. This is all because of Sarah," Claire screamed. "She's been after you forever, Ethan. Admit it." "Nathan Cole was caught trying to access our servers this morning," Linda cut in coldly. "Security removed him from the building." Claire collapsed into a chair, the fight draining out of her. That's not possible, but how did you access everything?" she finally asked, looking defeated. "Harper Holdings," I replied calmly. "That's me. I'm your silent investor." The color drained from her face as everything clicked. You set me up." "No, you set yourself up. I just built in a fail-safe." As security escorted her out, she turned back, tears streaming down her face. "Was it worth it, destroying me just to be with her? How long have you two been planning this?" "You broke us, Claire. I'm just cleaning up your mess," I said, my voice ice cold. "This has nothing to do with Sarah," I replied. "This is about your choices, the embezzlement, the corporate espionage. Cheating was just the beginning." "You jackass!" she spat. "You'll regret this." After security escorted Claire out, the CEO turned to me. "That was intense. You okay?" "I'm fine," I said. "Just glad it's over." "We owe you for catching this," he said. "Could have cost us millions if it continued. We'll handle it quietly. She can resign or face charges." We wrapped up in 20 minutes flat. As I was leaving, the CEO added, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry about your marriage, but the company appreciates your discretion." I nodded and headed out. No need to explain that I'd been planning for this possibility for years. As I was leaving the building, my phone exploded with notifications. Lucas texted, "Dude, check your security cameras. Claire's destroying your house." I pulled up the app to see Claire throwing things and screaming, tearing through drawers and smashing picture frames. She was shrieking my name, cursing me to hell. I texted Lucas, "Let her rage. Nothing important there anyway. By the time I met Sarah for lunch, Claire had called 39 times and left 12 voicemails. The last one actually made me pause. You and that pin ___ have been planning this all along, haven't you? I saw the way she looked at you at the Christmas party. Was she yours then, too? Is that why you set me up? You wanted her instead, so you destroyed me. I will burn your life down, I swear to God. You think you're so smart with your Harper Holdings. I will make you regret this, both of you. I'm still staring at my phone when Sarah reached across the table and took my hand. Everything okay? You look stressed. I deleted the voicemail and squeezed her hand. Claire's not taking it well. She thinks we planned this together. Sarah raised an eyebrow. Seriously? I didn't even know you were interested until you called me yesterday. Yeah, well, easier to blame us than accept responsibility, I said. Don't worry about it. She's going down in flames, isn't she? Sarah said, her eyes gleaming with mischief. So what happens now? Sarah asked. I smiled. Now, we moved to phase. And like that, phase 2 began the very next morning, when I met with Mark, my lawyer, at his downtown office. The guy looked like he hadn't slept in days, but his eyes lit up when I walked in. Ethan, perfect timing. I've been reviewing your situation and, well, it's beautiful, legally speaking. I grabbed a seat across from him. Beautiful how? His partnership agreement Claire signed 6 years ago? It's bulletproof. The ethical violations clause triggers an immediate review of all personal assets acquired during the partnership period. I couldn't help grinning. And what exactly does that mean for Claire? Mark started ticking things off on his fingers. The house, purchased with a loan you guaranteed through your family's bank connections. Her BMW, a company lease you arranged. The vacation property in Vail, a joint asset but primarily funded by your investments. Even her designer wardrobe, mostly purchased using company funds you helped her access. So, basically everything, I summarized. Basically everything, Mark confirmed. She'll be left with her personal savings account, about $20,000, 0 cents based on the statements you provided, and those student loans you've been paying. You mean the student loans I stopped paying last month? I corrected. Mark's eyebrows shot up. Damn, you really thought of everything. I learned from the best, I said. We're about to rewrite her future, Mark, I added, my voice low with purpose. We spent the next hour mapping out the strategy. By noon, papers were filed, accounts were frozen, and the wheels of justice started turning with the precision of a guillotine. I headed back to the hotel to find Sarah waiting in the lobby, her presence a reminder of the life I was reclaiming. How'd it go with the lawyer? She asked, as we walked to a nearby cafe for lunch. Let's just say Claire's about to learn what financial ruin really means. Sarah winced. You sound brutal. Deserved. But brutal. I nodded. She didn't just cheat on me. She tried to completely screw my career, too. If I hadn't fed her fake information about those projects, I could have been implicated in insider trading. I could have faced actual jail time. When you put it that way, Sarah nodded slowly. Still, people at work already think I'm the reason your marriage ended. Let 'em think whatever they want, I replied, reaching for her hand across the table. We know the truth, which is that Claire demolished our marriage all by herself. And you're just the smart, gorgeous woman who happened to be in the right place at the right time. Sarah smiled. You're rewriting the narrative, Ethan. I like it, she said, her voice sultry. My phone buzzed. It was Sophie. Claire showed up at my apartment at 2:00 in the morning, completely hysterical, screaming about how I betrayed her by giving you those documents. I arranged to meet Sophie at the hotel lobby after lunch. When she arrived, Sophie looked exhausted with dark circles under her eyes. You okay? I asked, my concern real despite the storm I was unleashing. She's always been the normal one in Claire's family. I'm fine. I told her she betrayed herself by cheating on you and committing actual crimes. Sophie rubbed her temples. She's staying with our parents now. They think you're the devil, by the way. She convinced them you set her up from the beginning. I shrugged. Not from the beginning, just from the moment I realized she was the kind of person who might need setting up. Sophie actually laughed at that. You know what's the craziest part? Nathan dumped her the second things went south, called her damaged goods, and blocked her number after everything she risked for him. He used me, Ethan, Sophie quoted Claire, shaking her head. Not surprised, I said. He got what he wanted, or thought he did. About that fancy couch, that $1,225.00 French leather monstrosity Claire bought to impress Nathan, a guy whose charm was undeniable. Turns out she didn't just use regular company funds. She used money from a special account specifically for the upcoming merger, the one she bragged about owning at dinner parties. So not only did she embezzle, she literally stole from the exact project her boyfriend was trying to sabotage. The audacity was almost poetic. I knew Claire would do something like this. 6 years of marriage taught me that she couldn't resist flaunting wealth, fancy cars, designer bags, Instagram-perfect vacations. So, 4 months before my Seattle trip, I started laying a trap. Every conversation about work, every deal I mentioned over dinner was carefully planted misinformation. The real projects were locked behind NDAs she never knew existed. You're my rock, she'd say, while I fed her lies that would be her undoing. So when she fed Nathan what she thought was insider info, Claire's company ended up chasing shadows, wasting millions on deals that never existed. Everything unraveled fast. Within days, Nathan got fired. Turns out, once you're exposed as a corporate spy, no one wants you. Claire, realizing her life was crumbling, bombarded me with desperate messages. Ethan, please, let's talk. I was wrong. I'll leave him. Just don't do this. I had Mark send a cease and desist, and that was it. She even tried fighting the prenup, but the judge dismissed it, citing her crimes. Her lawyer's desperate plea. She was manipulated. Was laughed out of court. The truth was, she made her choices, and in the end, the better choice was always mine. Karma didn't just knock, it kicked down the door. A courier arrived with a padded envelope weeks later. Inside, a house key and a note in Claire's handwriting. You didn't just build my world, you rigged it to explode. I see you now, Ethan. I hate you, but I see you. No apology, just raw clarity. I tossed it aside. The divorce was final. Lucas dropped by my new downtown loft for coffee. Divorce looks good on you, he joked. Revenge looks better, I replied. Was it worth it, though, he asked. The years of planning, those fail-safes? It wasn't about revenge, I said. It was protection, like insurance you hope never to use. Still, did you have to take everything, he said. Sophie says she's working at Walmart now. I shrugged. She made her choices. Everything after was just consequences. What happened to Nathan? Unemployable in finance, moved to Nevada. Guess he's chasing slot machines instead of secrets now, Lucas quipped. And you and Sarah? Right on cue, Sarah walked in with takeout. Things between us were good. Taking it slow, but she practically lived here now. No games, no manipulation, just something real. Later I showed Sarah Claire's note. Are you going to respond? She asked. Nothing to say, it's over. Good, she said, kissing me. Let her haunt her own wreckage. It was over, but not without cost. My career soared, leading the expansion division after our merger tripled the stock price. My options were worth 8 figures. Claire could have shared this. Instead, she's in her childhood bedroom, working retail, haunted by the empire she thought was hers. That $1,200.00 couch now sits in my office, a trophy of her downfall, but also a reminder of my own ruthlessness. Sophie texted, Claire saw your promotion. She's broken, Ethan, but she's still whispering your name. An unknown number messaged, You planned this, didn't you? I didn't reply. Would I have pulled the trigger if she hadn't cheated? No. I built those fail-safes for protection, not destruction. But once she crossed that line, risking everything I'd built, I had to act. Sarah asked last night, Was it worth losing her? I looked at her, then at the city skyline and said, I didn't lose her. She lost herself, and I'm still paying for it. The best revenge is living well. But it's a jagged path. Claire's gone, Sarah's here, and I'm thriving. Yet a part of me wonders if I've traded one cage for another, forever marked by the game we play.